Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best damn EDC, and today I want to talk to you about something that I've been very interested in lately. You guys know, or many of you know, that I've been camping and backpacking a lot more lately, getting back into the outdoors. I've really missed it, but in doing so, I've been focusing a lot on the tools and gear that you carry when you do that. So lately, I've been carrying the Victorinox Huntsman, and I don't think it's the best EDC multi-tool, but I think it's a very great general purpose multi-tool, especially for outdoors and camping. But there's a mod that you can do to any Swiss Army knife with a corkscrew that I think will make it into the ultimate survival tool, something that doesn't add any weight or size really, and really makes this thing true survival tool. So that's what we're talking about today. And with that said, let's do the damn thing. So, as I said, the Victorinox Huntsman has been in my pocket every day since I got this. I've been carrying Swiss Army knives off and on for years, and I never really tend to stick with one, but the Huntsman has been really good, and it is, I think, a little overkill for EDC, especially because it has a saw, which is not something that I've ever really needed in a daily carry tool. So it's got a few extra layers. It's a 4-layer tool, 91 millimeters. I think the Huntsman is, again, a little overkill for everyday carry, but a really good Swiss Army knife. But this doesn't have to be done to a Huntsman. It can be done to, I think I have a compact as well. Any one with a corkscrew, that's the key. But what we're talking about is this right here. This is the Tortoise, that's the brand, Fire Ant, and then there's also the Firefly. So basically this is a ferro rod and tinder bundle that you can just put inside your Swiss Army knife, and just gives you a way to create fire. I think if you're outdoors, backpacking, camping, whatever, you should have more than one way to create a fire, but this is really survival more than anything. It's not something that you should rely on as your primary fire source, but something that if you need it, it's there. And one of the reasons I say it's not a great primary source, you can see in here, I've already broken one of these ferro rods. That was user error. It's not really their fault. It was totally my fault for not reading the instructions, but they are a little fragile, but it's something that you can use in a time of need that can really, really save your butt. So these, as you can tell, they replace the little eyeglass screwdriver that screws into the corkscrew. Literally has the exact same form factor. So I have it on this one. This is the Fire Ant. Same form factor. So you're just replacing what would have been the screwdriver for a ferro rod. And you could leave it just like that, but that's why this exists. Well, the shorter ones for the Fire Ant. You have a little short tinder bundle that you screw on first, and then you can take the ferro rod and screw it in, and you now have a fire starter packed neatly away inside your Swiss Army knife. Obviously they come in multiple colors, so you can have green or orange or blue. Now you do lose your little eyeglass screwdriver function, which is unfortunate for some of you, but this is gonna be best for a tool like this, or maybe a smaller tool, because this Huntsman does not have a tweezer or toothpick to sacrifice. So this is gonna be the best setup for A-lock scales or something that doesn't have the toothpick or tweezers. So you could do the toothpick or tweezer on this one, which is the Firefly, which I have set up on this Huntsman, which has the plastic scales. So this side I still have the tweezers, but on this side I've gotten rid of the toothpick and put in the Firefly, the longer version because it fits, and then you have double the tinder with these. So the way this works, I'll show you with this one right here. Basically just unscrew the ferro rod, take out your tinder bundle, and it's best to use the saw to start the fire, but we're gonna use the knife real quick. We'll just use the whole thing. You definitely wanna be a little more stingy with this stuff. If you're in a survival situation, you don't wanna use a whole bundle. Just use what you have to, but one of these bundles is gonna be a few dollars, I think. So they're not cheap. You could technically probably make your own pretty easily. I have an idea for some fire starter videos that I've done in the past that I want to remake. If you guys are interested, let me know. Some DIY fire starters that I prefer to use when I'm out. So you just take it, rake it against the, boom. You can tell it wants to keep burning, doesn't it? And there you have it. I think those burn for, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, I did the whole 2 to 3 minutes. I think that was a short one though, so probably a minute or two on one of these shorter ones. These longer ones are 2 to 3 minutes. So the other one, the tinder is gonna work the exact same way, but the important thing to note is to not do what I did, and I didn't read the instructions. So I actually learned about these ages ago, but I saw a video on them recently from, God, what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. I'll have to link it below, but basically I saw him use these little ones, and I tried to use this the same way by like bracing this and raking across it with the fire steel. That is not how you use the Firefly. This one is used like a traditional fire starter, where you're actually raking against the fire starter instead of the other way around, because they'll break. Same idea, you just want to hold it, brace it, and you gotta scrape that outer off real quick, but that's it. You just rake it and break it. So personally, and that gets me to a good point, I don't think I like this one nearly as much because of that. It is a lot more fragile, and maybe I'm still doing it wrong. Hold it while breaking, always strike the thin sides of the Firefly. Oh, well that would make sense. So it's a lot stronger in this direction. Well, there you go. User error. I broke 2 of them for that. So you can still use this, but it's not gonna fit down in there after you break it. Don't do as I do, read the instructions. So I have the compact, and my hope was that you could replace the pin with one of these longer ferro rods, but that's just not the case. The pin tip is a little narrower, and you may be able to bore it out and fit something in there, but just stock, you can't. So that's unfortunate, but you can still do either one with this, really. And the reason that I really like this one, this gets me back to the guy that I was talking about. Still can't remember his name. Felix Immer? I feel like that's it. He did a test on these, and he started over 100 fires with one of these. So it seems really small and fragile. He was impressed. I was also impressed. I think that was an awesome video and an awesome example of how cool and actually functional this is. So I ended up buying all of this stuff, which gets me to the price. The tinder bundles are the cheapest thing of these Firefly tinder bundles. This is 12 bucks for an 8-pack. That's expensive for fire starters, but in a survival situation, these are not bad to have on you. So I'm okay with it if you're not using it, as a primary fire starter source. I think that's acceptable. This is pretty expensive for what it is. These are $38, so you get 6 and 6. So 6 fire steels and 6 tinder bundles, and that's a lot. These fire steels are gonna last a long time. The tinder bundles, not so much. So $38, that's kind of expensive, but again, survival, I can see it. And then these are the most expensive, but you have a lot of fire rods here. These ferro rods are gonna last a long time. Again, if you follow instructions and don't do as I do, you get 8 of them. So there's 2 shorter ones of each color and 2 longer ones of each color. So there's a green and this like off-white cream that looks just like the toothpick, but they're all glow in the dark, which is also cool. So you can find it in the dark. Basically, if we take one of these and hit it with a flashlight, it's gonna turn green, and all of these are gonna do the same. They glow a little cool, which is really cool. I like that a lot. So not cheap. This is $42 for the 8 fire steels, 38 for the fire ant, and 12 for more tinder. I don't think that's too bad, but it's definitely not cheap. And I don't think you can put a price on survival. If it's something you're doing, if you're out in the woods, I think this is just a no-brainer to at least have on hand, because it's a really, really good backup. And as long as you know how to use a fire steel. I don't think, if you're not trained with a fire steel, you know how to start a fire with a fire steel. I'm not an expert by any means, but I can start a fire with this. So I think this is a valid investment if you carry a Swiss Army knife when you're in the backcountry of any sort. And I think this is really cool. I'm digging it, and I'm gonna keep carrying this on my Swiss Army knife. There you have it. It's gonna be linked down below if you wanna check out any of these. And again, thank you guys for watching. And if you wanna see more stuff like this, a little more outdoor survival oriented stuff, let me know in the comments down below, because regardless, there's going to be more anyway. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. And until next time, carry on.